proud, but very thankful for that and for the fact that I remain interested in the work. But again, that's a gift.
За свою долгую карьеру в кино и театре он переиграл множество злодеев, психопатов, королей, был даже Папа Римский. И все же самая захватывающая и самая яркая его роль – это роль Джона Малковича, харизматичного, гениального артиста в полном смысле этого слова. Джон Малкович – американский актер, режиссер, продюсер, имеет славянские корни, дед и бабушка по отцовской линии родом из Хорватии. В 1984 году за роль «Место в сердце» он был номинирован на «Оскар». А международную славу ему принесла роль Виконта де Вальмона в экранизации романа «Опасные связи» и участие в фильме «Под покровом небес» Бернардо Бертолуччи. В течение долгой карьеры ему удается совмещать участие в голливудских боевиках и в артхаусном кино, коммерческие проекты и независимые театральные постановки. После выхода на экраны комедии «Быть Джоном Малковичем», где он сыграл самого себя, его имя стало нарицательным, а сам он воплощением актера-интеллектуала, которому подвластны все жанры. Он был дважды женат, имеет двоих детей, а недавно стал дедушкой. В Ригу Малковича, по его словам, привело любопытство, всегдашний двигатель его актерской карьеры, и Ингеборга Дапкунайте, давняя подруга и партнерша по многим фильмам и спектаклям. Совсем недавно в театре Дайли состоялась премьера по пьесе французского драматурга Бернара Мари Кальтеза «Одиночество хлопковых полей», где Джон выступил вместе с своей давней партнершей и подругой Ингеборгой Дапкунайте. Об этом их тандеме, об этом спектакле и о многом другом мы сегодня и поговорим. Mr. Malkovich, thank you for coming. The actor's profession is so much dependent on many circumstances, on partners, on director, producer, public, sometimes media.
Sure, of course.
But your life, your career is a wonderful example of total artistic freedom. How did you manage to create it in such a way?
I generally have done what I wanted to do. That doesn't always please people, but I don't worry too much about that because all I can do, the best I can do is try to do things that interest me. That's really all I can do. I could understand, for instance, people coming to this play and people hating it. I understand. Or people being very upset by it. I understand.
That is important to be interested in, yes, for you, yeah.
For me, yeah. I never gravitated that much to kind of what the Americans would call maybe no-brainers or things that are sort of easy sells necessarily. I have an idea what people will go see. That doesn't mean that's what I'm going to do either.
That's not inspired you, yeah?
Well, I've done some of those things, but it's not a deciding factor for me.
I know that there was a lot of difficulties and troubles with this production, and the political situation is dramatically changed during these 3 months. Why it's so important for you to finalize this project and to do this play?
I mean, I don't know if plays are important. It's just our work. But we started quite a while ago working on In the Solitude of the Cotton Fields via Zoom. And this is the, I think, 8th or 9th collaboration I've done with Ingeborg. We started well over a year ago, I would think, working on it. And going over the translation from the French to the English, etc., kind of via the Russian translation a bit, with Timofey and Roman. Eventually we thought, okay, well, let's try this. Let's get it on its feet and see how it is. I think it's quite an interesting piece, which has some depth and some soul to it, I think.
I am not afraid of fighting. I'm worried about the rules I don't know.
There are no rules.
There are only means.
There are only weapons. course, loved to work with Ingeborg, which I've done, as I say, over spanning several decades, really. And I was very impressed with Timothy and his ability to shape the script and shape the dynamics of the writing along with Roman's help, who's the dramaturg. And we did a pre-rehearsal here in January, which we worked a lot, and which made us feel we had something here, hopefully, and that we had a good groundwork, a good basis for continuing when we came back in early May to finish our rehearsals. And it's just a piece I thought was interesting and a collaboration that I'm very happy to be a part of, and very happy to be here in doing it in Riga.
The play is about seller and buyer, and you change your roles during all the performance. Mm-hmm. It's interesting to know you are the man of property in, as Songs for Sight, in the Goldsworthy sense. Or do you prefer not to bother yourself with obligations and properties and so on?
In my life?
In your life, yes.
I don't have that many obligations, really. Maybe unlike many people my age in this field, I still like to work. Inga and I just finished a rehearsal a few minutes ago, so we still like to work. Inga is considerably younger than me, but we like to come to rehearsal, we like to work hard, we like to do difficult things. If they fail, and Inga and I have certainly done things that at least didn't succeed to the extent we might have hoped, that's okay.
As Timofey Kulyabin said, the solitude is about forbidden desires. Mm-hmm. Do you often forbid for yourself to do something or to wish something?
Not really. I mean, I don't think I have spectacularly strong or nefarious desires, so I don't really have much to worry about in that case, perhaps. But I understand that people do. I think Tennessee Williams said something that I very much agree with, and I think probably holds me in good stead in my chosen field. And that's to say, the only thing in his play, I think Night of the Iguana, where he says the only thing, one of his characters says that the only thing they don't understand is deliberate cruelty. And I sort of feel that way. This is a play about, let's say, unpermitted desires. In Timothy's conception, I'm not sure that was the original intention of In the Solitude of the Cotton Fields. Timothy's conception in this
and
production.
You accept it, yes?
Yeah, sure. I welcome a strong conception and a strong director's hand in something and a point of view. Otherwise, it's probably been done before.
Два слова о Джоне Малковиче. Но все-таки это большая звезда, большой актер с огромным шлейфом ролей. Как вы вступили с ним в взаимоотношения? Какой он оказался в работе?
Мы поняли друг друга, и он понял этот текст, он его тоже полюбил. Мы были союзники, и, в общем, мне было крайне легко с ним. Никакого ощущения его авторитета или заслуг, или какого-то опыта, который давлеет над ним или надо мной, просто не было. Вот. И он прекрасный партнер. Более того, это тоже хорошо, потому что они действительно настоящие партнеры с Ингеборгой на сцене. Они помогают друг другу во время репетиции, они чувствуют друг друга. Это очень ценно, когда у тебя есть вот такая пара у режиссера, и ты знаешь, что можно их в какой-то момент отпускать, и ты точно знаешь, что они, как это сказать, найдут очень много своего, может быть, гораздо больше, чем даже я бы мог предложить.
One of the main advantage in actor's profession is possibility of many meetings and contacts. Sometimes they are friendships with your colleagues all over the world. But I think your relationship with Ingeborg Dapkunaitė is something special. What does it mean for you personally?
I met Ingeborg in 1991, I think at the end of 91. I was involved with a play that was going to the West End, which was called Slip of the Tongue, which was based on a kind of, I think he was Slovak, dissident writer, but very much similar to the story of Václav Havel in a way as well. It was about a writer who had made a quite incendiary speech at the Soviet Socialist Congress, was then sent into exile. And over this period of time, he was visited by several women who all turned out to be spies for this particular then Soviet satellite state. So my idea was to cast women who were speaking a language that wasn't their own. And we kind of half did that, not quite wholly. And Ingeborg was one of the people we brought in. And it will always make me laugh the day I met her as she came in to read. And her future husband actually was directing the play, Simon Stokes, an English director. We started reading a scene, and Inga did 4 or 5 lines, and I kind of very, very quickly, after maybe a minute, sort of looked over to Simon and went,
yes.
Kind of, okay, are we done? And Simon kind of went like that because he hadn't really liked the idea. Then we worked together many other times, and basically my relation with Inga, who I've known through 3 husbands, and know her mother, know her child, know her, even met her father, her sister, her niece, etc. over the years. A number of years ago, I was doing a play at the Edinburgh Festival, directing a play, and we went into a restaurant up in Edinburgh, and I saw Simon there, Stokes, Inga's former husband, who I hadn't seen him in some years. He said, "I hear you're working again with Inga," and I said, "Yeah." And he said, how is it? And I said, well, it's the same as always. I mean, Inga is the person I want next to me if I'm doing something that is really difficult and I think it may fail, because I know she'll go down with the ship and never quit trying to improve it. She has a fantastic work ethic. She has a great talent as an actress, which I've seen again and again and again on stage and on the screen. But also she's kind of Soviet tough and just is a great, great colleague for many, many years. Also a very close and beloved friend, but a great colleague. We've done films, fashion films, plays, operas, what have you, and I'm always delighted to meet up with her again after 30 years of working together now.
Stanislavski once said that the actor's career depends on 60 or even 70% of luck and 30 on talent and so on. Do you agree with such percentage? And do you think that you are a lucky man?
Yes. I would probably bicker for a slightly higher percentage than Stanislavski posited. I think it's more kind of 90% luck. Listen, I've worked with a lot of very talented people, but so much of it has to do with getting what you need to do at a particular time, which helps you get other things you need to do at later times, I think. So I would say there's a massive amount of luck. Talent's great, I guess. a lot of people have it. Hard work is very important. Really being able to focus on what you're doing and putting everything else aside. And some people have that ability, but some people don't. And even if you're very talented, if you can't focus extensively, often, you're probably not going to get where your talent would suggest you could be,
Nice.
let's say.
Once I have an interview with Charlotte Rampling, and she told me, I never saw my films. I said, why? The job is done.
Yeah, sure.
And what about you?
I agree. I mean, I've seen some films I've been in, certainly not the majority. Do I care? Not that much. And it's not because it's not some kind of disrespect. It's that it's done. I'd find that kind of narcissistic, really. I mean, what are you watching it for?
Yes,
it's done.
yeah.
I mean, I understand people who do, and I get that and everything. But for me, it's the work on something. And once it's finished, I mean, that's the thing about a play. A play is never finished. Theater, you don't really relive what happened 5 or 10 years ago. You deal with what happens tonight or today. I love that about theater.
Once I saw you in St. Petersburg. That was, I'm passing the Hotel Angleterre, where I saw you are sitting in the window, just with a cup of tea, in white sweater, in white trousers, the man in white, in cream, and it was so beautiful, and looking on the Sanisaki Cathedral. Yes, and I understand that it was, the picture of the portrait of the joie de vivre.
St. Petersburg is a beautiful city where I've worked a number of times. That was a spectacularly kind of cold and welcoming winter, but still was a great time. Yeah.
And what's about Riga? How did you feel it?
Beautiful. I didn't know Riga at all. I don't know the Baltic states very well. I know Lithuania a tiny bit because I did a film in Vilnius some years ago, which I like very much. But I didn't know Riga at all. And I think it's beautiful. I like the town very much. And the area, I had played in Jurmala with, I do a piece with a great young Russian pianist, Anastasia Terankova, called The Report on the Blind, which is a piece of the Soviet era composer Schnitka's, which we do with an adaptation I did of a part of a Sabato novel called On Heroes and Tombs. And we played Jurmala about, must be 3-4 years ago.
Years ago,
I can't remember. So Riga, I think, is lovely.
There was a very touching moment, Ingeborg told me, when she came to her first appointment with you. Before it, she went to the shop and bought the Dangerous Liaisons. This is the cassette, VHS cassette, to see the film, because your films were forbidden in the USSR. They were not shown, and she didn't see you. And now I think that was so beautiful and long way from this cassette just to the solitude in the cotton fields for near more than 30 years. And if I ask you, what is your main achievement during this period?
I don't really understand pride. Okay, you do something that succeeds. Well, so what? I've done a lot of things that fail. People say you're talented. So what? You didn't do anything for that. People say you work hard. So what? That's the job. So what's to be proud of? I've met great colleagues all over the world. I have worked with them and continued to do so. I'm not sure how many years I'll be alive or how many more things I'll do at work. I have no idea. But I'm not ashamed that I've had great colleagues, great experiences, and that I'm not proud, but very thankful for that and for the fact that I remain interested in the work. But again, that's a gift. It's not an achievement. It's a gift. Some people do this work and they're really not that interested in the work. I've worked with great actors or actresses or both who I don't think are terribly really interested in the work.
What does make you happy now?
Our granddaughter doing something good, even though I know, say, in the terms of a play, that doesn't mean anything tomorrow. The same things that have always made me happy, trying to do beautiful things, really, and being allowed to for so long. I've been doing this work professionally for way over 40 years now. It's incredibly long. It's kind of astonishing, really.
Thank you very much, Mr. Malkovičs.
Thank you.